we're going to go for like a really smooth, seamless entry this week, or are we going to just kind of do what we usually do and not even realise that we've gone live?
I think that the latter's probably the best way. It kind of makes us look as though we know what we're doing, but really we are just winging it.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Vape Talk UK, episode 120 fucking 6. That is a lot of episodes. That is so many episodes. I can't even count to that many episodes.
Look at the time. Look at the time.
We're basically on time. It's 8:04. It's just turned 8:05 by my clock. That is pretty much on time. So not only have we managed 126 episodes, but we finally managed to get the show started pretty much on time. We haven't got Chris, but you know.
Take a bow, guys. Take a bow. We'll take that.
Pat on the back. Pat on the back, gentlemen. Well done. Yeah, I mean, Chris didn't show up on time, but
I reckon next week we're going to be starting about 7:30. What do you think?
7:30?
Yeah.
Are you mad?
No, don't worry.
We can always tell the part-timers in the group, can't we?
To be fair, next week we're probably going to need extra time anyway because it's the raffle.
It's the raffle.
Oh, yeah.
So that's going to take up extra time. Last time we did a raffle, I think the show was probably like 2.5, 3 hours long.
Oh, bloody hell.
But to be fair, we used to stick to the hour and a half back then, didn't we?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, these days we just kind of go on for as long as we feel like, don't we?
Pretty much.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. So, well, I kind of wonder what you said.
I can't believe you started without me.
There we go. He's back. Chicken wings returned.
I was on the phone, you cunt.
So, yeah,
we
are joined by a particularly high-spirited, mild-mannered Chris JB.
Hi, Tosser.
A particularly James Hetfield-looking, not leather vest-wearing Ian Chandler.
Oh, I missed the screenshot as well. So gutted.
And Mark.
Oh, shit, I never thought a screenshot.
Oh, God, he's put it back on. He had this on before the show. I didn't know to wear it.
I want to double-check and make sure I don't have the screenshot. Let me just check.
You don't have a screenshot of Chandler naked. We've all seen Chandler naked now.
Did you screenshot it?
Yes, I did.
Oh, you never did.
Oh,
you know what the best part about this is? Chandler works in schools. We can ruin him now.
Oh, no.
You're going to be allowed within 50 feet of schools and playgrounds.
Yeah, well, I got a leather waistcoat. When I put it back on, I look like something from the blinking...
I'm just going to screen share for a second.
Oh, no!
Click him up, Stu.
As you can see, look at Stu's face. Look how
there we go.
Look how happy he is.
Look at that. It's beautiful.
Look at me. I look overly happy.
And as you can see, I've run out of space on my iCloud. Just put that out there.
To be fair, that is a truly great picture, and I don't think you should be embarrassed about it at all, mate.
You think?
I'm gonna look at that long and hard tonight when I'm in bed.
I've got to say that it's better than it was 20 seconds before because you were donning quite a purple t-shirt.
Yeah, I want to know what's wrong with that purple t-shirt.
I want to know why you fucking have it, you weird man.
There we go. That's what I was wearing. There you go.
You're absolutely willing to take any old free shit on you.
That's rich coming from you.
You know what? I was so proud of myself. I'd actually bought stuff retail this week. Retail.
You bought stuff?
But yeah, I bought stuff from Modmaker. But then Rick nullified it because he sent me a free refill kit. And then I bought a load more stuff retail off him. And I'd forgot something, so I messaged him seeing if I could order it. And he said,
I think the funniest part about all that was that he posted in the group saying, look, see, I do pay for stuff. And then I was taking the piss being like, yeah, that looks like a cost price if ever I've seen one because it ended in an odd number. And then you justified it. It all went quiet. And then the parcel turns up and it's got free shit in it. It was like you went to all that effort to try and redeem yourself.
Chris, are you going by the name Charles nowadays?
Charles?
Nobody else noticed that.
What?
No.
Chris's lower third.
Does it say? It doesn't say Charles, does it? Is it just me?
God, yeah, that's an L. You fucking knob. CHRLS.
Right, Charles, it is from now on then.
Charles.
Can you go back and edit that, please, and also add me a because I did it.
Charles JB.
And I've got to say as well, Chris, yours looks somewhat very 8-bit.
Well, I think that's just my camera. To be honest.
Yeah, that's probably his potato camera.
Oh, it is actually pretty shit, even at my end. Chandler, why have you put a lot less love into mine than you have everyone else's?
I put love into yours.
Fuck off.
I turned you into a part-time stripper. You wanted to be a full-time stripper, and I didn't. I thought you were better than that.
I just cannot. I cannot believe this. It's like a fucking watching a game of Pong.
And that's just your head bouncing from one side to another.
Yeah.
All right, I will put some love into your lower third for next week.
I fucking bet you will.
Let's do it right now.
You want me to do it right now?
Yeah, and put a little Pandora logo on it.
Nah, don't do it.
I did it. I spent like 20 minutes doing it last week.
I did spend 20 minutes doing it last week. It went very quiet. It was very, very relaxing.
Yeah.
Probably the best bit of the show, you know.
It's on the Mac. It's on the Mac in the shed, though. It's not here.
Chris, Chandler, just leave Charles alone. Just leave him be.
Okay.
Yeah, no more bullying Charles. So, has anyone vaping this week?
Yeah.
I'm not.
Don't fancy it? No.
No.
Chandler, you vape.
Yes.
You
I
vape.
vape. I vape.
What atties and juices have you vaped this week?
Chandler,
What?
can I just
Atties.
point out that you are the longest running vapor
Yes.
with the least experience. Like I'm not saying like you've not got experience in vaping. I'm saying that you've got no experience in like expanding your market, so to speak. Until like 2 months ago, you'd never tried anything but Camphor. We found out.
No. That was. I'd been on stainless steel and what have you before that. That was the first time I tried NI80 Nichrome. Yeah. That was the first time I tried Nichrome.
Me, and you still vape cotton balls from Tesco's.
Hang on. We've got that to come. Leave that.
We got that to come. I'll come back to
Yeah, spoilers, dickhead.
that.
I can almost guarantee you're still mixing with Boots VG.
No, it is now. It used to be cheaper for the Boots VG. So long as the Boots VG was cheaper, I was buying it. But now I can get Vaping VG for cheaper than it cost me in Boots. But I wouldn't not use Boots VG. Nothing wrong with it.
Have you ever dripped Simple Linctus? Because it's got high VG content.
Dripped what?
Simple Linctus.
What's that?
It's like a cough mixture.
Right, I take it.
Sometimes, just ignore him.
Okay.
It's made from VG. It's like
Right. Yeah, it's got no nicotine in it and probably tastes like shit.
it doesn't taste great drinking it, so I can't imagine it.
No.
Being good.
Anyway, vaping. I've got the box that is in the raffle. Actually, this isn't the box; it's just the door. I've just kind of nicked the door to make it look like it. So you are getting the person who wins it in the raffle will be getting a Virgin unvaped box.
I was just about to say, you fucking pikey. You're not even going to let the person that wins it have the first vape on it.
No. They will get a Virgin unvaped box, but that is basically.
You did break up that. You said the winner will get a Virgin.
The win a Virgin. I then quantified that with unvaped box. So there you go.
All your hand muck and grime is going to be into the mashed into the door engraving.
I've literally just put that door on that box just now.
Now you're going to give it to a raffle winner second hand.
All right, I'm going to swap the door over. There you go, and put my 1950s prisoner door on. There you go. Anyway, on top of that is an Entheon. And what am I vaping inside there? Oh, Yogi. I've got Yogi.
Ooh.
That is a nice
Wow.
juice.
Which one?
Oh,
Oh,
Yogi
Your
from
number one
Chef's Flavors. That's the strawberry yogurt.
What does it
And
say? Wait, whoa. Can you hold that back up?
yeah,
What does that say? Right.
Speak.
Enya Reclor.
which one are you looking at?
Enya Reclor.
And you,
What is that?
I have no idea. Hang on, let's see. Will it focus?
Enya Reclor.
Yeah. I don't know.
I like a bit of Enya.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's Walker Wayne backwards.
Walker Wayne. You are yes, it is.
So I'm assuming it's probably owned by someone called Wayne Walker then.
Quite possibly. Well, there you go.
Oh, it's
Yeah, because if I look through the bottle, because I'm now looking through the bottle and it does say Walker Wayne.
That's such that's so weird.
That is a little bit random. Anyone from Chef's Flavors who's if
They're
anyone's
based in
watching,
Wales, aren't they?
we kind of I'm gonna actually I'm gonna email them and ask them because that's
They're based in Wales, aren't they? Do you reckon that's just
Yes.
a Welsh word and everything in Welsh is just English done backwards? It'd be funny if it.
It could be. It could be. It could be. Either way, that's what I'm hoping here. And
battery that's not compatible with one of my squonkers. That's annoyed me.
Someone just check if Cymru is Wales backwards.
no, it's not.
Kelly.
What?
Sexy dated. Bye bye, Kelly.
Why is
Right.
my, oh, do you know what? For fuck's sake, I've been looking at this chat for like 15 minutes thinking it's not updated. It's a screenshot of Chandler in his vest. The chat was there at the time when
And you think it's me?
Oh no, I had it to the side of my Hangouts window because I've only got one screen on this,
Chris, you're an idiot.
and it wasn't updating. I'm thinking, why the fuck is no one saying nothing? Well, guess what? It was Kevin Lester about an hour ago saying he was an hour early.
Kevin Emerson.
In chat. It is something new I got this week.
A drop.
What is that drop RDA? I've never even heard of it.
Have you not?
No.
It's a drop RDA by Digiflavor. It's a dual coil. If I can get the damn thing.
Wait, have you got
Good O-ring tolerances then.
It's a bit tight. Oh shit! I've now fucked it up.
have you got two prisoner boxes?
No,
Why has that one got prisoner on it as well then? Or have you just swapped
because
it?
I've just took the door off it and put the door back on this one because it hadn't got a door. It's a dual. There you go. Dual coil that I've just fucked up completely. Taking the cap off.
It was a dual.
It was a dual coil.
What did you
And
do?
then well, as I pulled the cap off, I
You buckled the
twisted it.
coils.
I twisted it like that, and I've just buckled the coils.
Well, fuck.
So,
That's one less thing Chandler's
oh
vaping.
shit, bollocks! I've made a right mess of that. Anyway, I don't know if you can see the.
Don't making rookie mistakes.
It's, yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Okay. There you go. You drop the coils. You drop them straight in the top, which is why it's called a drop. So.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You literally drop them straight in the top, and the airflow goes through there, and you've got a shit ton of options on the airflow. Can you see? I've got it.
It does a lot, yeah.
There's
It looks like
4,
one of those stopper games, you know, that you
4,
get.
8, 10. Yeah, you've got 10 holes, and depending how you twist it, depends how the. I did juice this up, and it's now not twisting. So depending how you twist it, depends which of the holes gets covered.
I don't know what it is with it, but it offends my eye.
It does. It's ugly.
It looks a bit 3 years ago. Like it reminds me of like the Twisted Messes squared.
Before, you know what it is? It's before people start doing acid etching. They do that engraving over any coating they put on it, and it always looked silver. And then it's got airflow like a Mutation X on crack.
Chandler, where did you get the drop from?
I actually got it off eBay. I tried to find it in a shop and couldn't find it. But I'd seen it was a review by Ian Schwar. If he did a written review on vapingbiker.co.uk, and it was actually a hilarious read. It's not often that a review makes me laugh out loud. But it was a really interesting review, and he quite highly rated it. So I thought, it's only 25 quid. And I thought, for 25 quid, I'm going to give that a go.
Is that all it was? 25 quid?
25 quid.
25 quid.
Yeah, 25 quid, including delivery. And yeah. And it's the airflow on it is, I'll put my drip tip down, is actually lovely. It's coming underneath the coils and up the middle, and the flavor on it, it's the best flavor dual coil I've got. So, and it squonks. The squonk pin, I won't be able to show you this. The squonk pin comes up the middle, and it's about 2 mil higher than the tray at the bottom. So when you squonk, the juice comes up, drops down into the tray, which is where your wicks are sitting. So squonking, you're just squeezing it, and the wicks just suck up the juice.
It's draining it back into the bottle.
It won't. It will. If you've gone higher than the top of the pin, it will suck that bit back in. But anything underneath it won't pull back into the bottle. But I've never, in a week of having it, I have never over squonked it. Never had juice coming out the airflow holes. Which
you're going to learn all about the opposite of that problem shortly.
Which for me is quite impressive, because I usually have juice everywhere. So yeah, so I'm really loving that because I normally go for single coils, and that's corky. So there you go. So that's what I'm vaping on this week. So do I pass it on to someone else, or is that just somebody else's show?
No, pass it on to someone else.
Right, go on then, Chris. What you got?
AIDS.
Yeah, it's got AIDS, to be fair. Not the good AIDS.
No.
Oh, no.
Hang on. What's the good AIDS?
Hearing aids. Hearing aids.
Lemonades.
Yeah. Oh, lemonades.
Hmm?
I've got this thingy.
Ew.
That's a billet box.
Yeah.
Your battery's upside down, Chris.
Oh, you're upside down, you wanker. In that, I've got 45 milligram Nick salts, the best device on the market by far.
What, the billet box?
Out there.
I do like that billet box. Is that what's on the door? Is it?
It's
probably mostly chicken residue.
Yeah, mostly KFC grease.
Looks like mother of pearl. It's really shiny.
It's Crinite or something kite.
Move on, Chris.
Shut up, Dick.
I like that. It's nice.
It's the most beautiful device on the market, hands down. I've also got a squonky squonk that I made. Can't really see it. It's all black. All black inside.
That's very nice.
Like
Chris, your battery upside down.
It's black, you fucking tosser. How can you tell? Yeah, with the new little black dinky bottles by Modmaker. Yeah, on that I've got a unreleased prototype of a skunk RDA that I've made that I'm probably not going to do anything with now. I've also got the all-white Molly, so we've got conflicting.
Yeah, that's all right. That.
Yeah.
I've just realised that the magnets in the Molly are actually quite strong.
They are quite strong, yeah.
They are pretty strong.
To be fair, fuzz tins like to stick to everything that's got. Oh, he says making it come off. They tend to like to stick to everything that's got magnets in.
Is that a bit turbulent, Chris?
Just a bit. It's pretty loud. Well, I've even
What was that? Soul S?
Yeah. I do love it though. It's really good. But
yeah.
A spare battery for each.
I've got one.
But yeah, in these I've got 45 milligram Nick salts. This one is Brazzle by Imperial Vape Co. And I've got Nico. Is it Nico?
Which one?
Mojito one.
Nope.
Well, that one.
Still Cammy.
Oh, Kane. That's it, Kane. Yeah, I've got the last sort of 7 mil of that in there. I'm out. Oh, fuck. Knocking shit over. I'm usually a bit more prepared in the shed, but yeah. It's yeah, I'm enjoying it. I mean, this thing is just fucking a monster. That's like a 0.3, 0.4 build. No, it's 0.3. It's not definitely not 0.4, but for a fucking single coil, pretty mental. Marky, what are you vaping on, mate?
Ooh, this evening. I'm vaping on Old Faithful, Nautilus 2, the Ultron, on 12 milligram slime still from Just Add Nick.
Nice.
What is the flavour profile of it? Everyone bangs on about it.
It's like a
Lime candy.
no, it's more sparkly lime to me.
I think John Martin's in the chat. He should be able to tell you, but I'm sure it's supposed to be lime candy.
I've never had a lime that I've fallen in love with.
Oh, mate, it's fucking delicious.
It really is good.
There was a lemon and lime by someone that was pretty good, but that's all it would have got out of me. Pretty good. But that, I really want to find a good lime. I can't remember what it is. It was something actually quite good, but I remember I only had like a 30 ml bottle of it. I could find it in the UK afterwards, and I ended up dumping it into a bottle of something else. Because it was like Expo May last year when they'd first said that Flybe had banned fucking e-liquid from their flights. So I took one bottle with me, which was like a hybrid mix of this lemon and lime and something else. So
did you stick it up your ass to make sure you got it on the flight?
Yeah, I was really worried. That worried. I've hoped a 30 ml bottle up my arse side waiting. Oh, we've got a fifth host. My Apex.
Just rummaging in the drawers.
I'm sure you know slime, and I'm going back probably 3, 4, 5 years. I'm sure the word sparkling was in there somewhere.
Like a vampire from Twilight. What else are you vaping on?
I'm also vaping on. I've actually dug out my series box today.
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry, someone in chat's just reminded me. I did like Key Lime Pie by 2OD, but it wasn't a fruity vape. I've gone on to fruits and bubble gums and shit now. Anyway, Mark, yes, you got your series box out.
Series box, plastic. There we go. Running the Death Trap.
Great RDA. I almost said great little RDA then, but it's definitely not little.
Little, but and I'm also on a chef's one tonight, Hazel Dream.
Is it good?
It is actually. I do like a good nutty vape.
That's good because I rubbed my nuts on your drip tip at Expo.
Good man.
That's more porky than nutty, Chris.
No, you got the pork. You got the pork afterwards.
It's sort of nut at first and then pork in the finish.
It's like it's a little bit vanilla-y, very creamy and very hazelnutty. It is very, very good. Very, very good.
I don't think you were much into series vaping these days.
I'm also smashing through
the
underdevelopments, apple and elderflower from us. I'm running that on Black Molly with the camo doors.
Can't see them, mate.
What doors? It's not got a door on it.
Can't see it. Hold it up to the light.
Why are you vaping a mod without a door on it? You weirdo.
And on that, I am vaping on D-Mod's Solo.
Go fuck yourself.
Incredible. It is.
Okay. Stu's obviously a little bit on the jealous side there. I just detect a hint of jealousy there.
Honestly, it is, in my opinion, and I've been through quite a few
Blokes.
squonking RDAs, and I've got to say that the solo is just incredible.
Solo?
Huh?
The solo?
The solo.
Solo.
Yeah. Did any of you see the Haku Gate?
I'm not a big fan of the Haku.
Wow, some guy did some fucking review on it, ripping it a new arsehole, and everyone went mental. Like,
Got a lot of fans that RDA has.
it was like a fucking mutiny. It was like Rip Trippers talking about fucking pop cans again.
Have any of you tried the Haku?
No.
No.
I've had a vape on one, but I've not played with one.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not. It's certainly not worth the hype, in my opinion.
I mean, every solo I've tried, I've absolutely fallen in love with. I'm desperate for one. I think the solo is probably the one to have, as far as I'm concerned.
How did you feel when he died?
What, Han?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all right. I knew it was coming.
Well, you said you fell in love with every solo you've ever met.
No, I said I had a go on.
Yeah.
Right,
I haven't had a go on Han Solo.
Nightworks just said the armor looks good. Now I've owned an armor. I've used an armor a lot, and I really didn't like it.
He actually said a more looks good.
I know what he meant.
But he might not have meant armor, because the armor RDA is spelt the American way.
Don't
Like, there could be an RDA called the Amor for all we know, and we wouldn't have a fucking clue.
Don't pick on people's grammar. I messaged Rick from Oddmaker yesterday asking for a tightening kit. I said I did try and buy one on the website, but I couldn't fucking find them anywhere. I sent him a screenshot saying they weren't showing it. I put tightening, no T, no
What was taking the piss out of his grammar anyway? I was taking the piss out of his spelling.
tightening kit.
Oh yeah.
Tining kit.
No wonder they had none in stock.
They don't stock the tining kits, so are they the new ones?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt like a right knob because I sent it and I was like, I found a glitch in his website.
Was that because you were hungry? No tea.
No tea. That's it.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, oh, for fuck's sake, there must be a stealth vape product. I'm loyal to Rick. I thought I won't get one then. And I messaged him thinking, actually, no, it might be one of his products. I swear it is. And then it turns out I just spelled it wrong. Clever sausage.
Yeah. That'll be why you couldn't find it.
That'd definitely be why I couldn't find it. Yeah, so
could be why I couldn't find the drop in the when I was searching for it in
drip and there were fucking hundreds.
Yeah, possibly.
Well, to be fair, Digiflavor stuff's a bit weird anyway, because you know Digiflavor's made by Geek Vape, so you would expect it to be available everywhere, but you tend to find that it's not as available as Geek Vape stuff, which is a bit weird.
Yeah, I didn't know whether it was just because it was relative. I don't know. I hadn't seen it. I hadn't seen it prior to reading Ian's review, so I didn't know whether it was just relatively new. And but everywhere I found it in a couple of shops, but they were all sold out. So I did the eBay thing.
It's it's bound to be one of those surprisingly good ones, isn't it? It'll be one of those ones that what everyone's going to expect it to be shit. Once a few people start to realize it's not shit, you'll start seeing it in stores.
Yeah, and you could just whack huge coils in that because you just got all that room at the top.
We'll have a squonk pin coming for the Alpha soon. You'll be able to put that on your pensioner box.
Ooh, oh, that would be awesome. Oh, Alpha on my box. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
I think the Alpha's going to make a cracking little squonkatty, to be honest. I know I'm obviously massively biased, but I think for like a dual coil mech squonk at about sort of 0.15, I think it'll be really good.
What is?
The Alpha, I reckon it'll be banging when the squonk pins come out.
Yeah.
I fucked 3 squonk pins trying to drill it out.
Apparently, I have heard of one existing squonk pin that fits it. Obviously, I'm not going to say publicly what it is because I don't want everyone going out buying that RDA instead of buying fucking squonk pins off me. But there is one that already exists that fits it, and you may well have one lying around. So if you want to piss around with it, then I'll let you know after the show.
Yeah, well, because it's a fucking flathead screw, when you drill it, it sort of catches one side and then pa-ching, a bit of copper's gone flying across the room.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 decks out of 5 that are fucked. No, 2.5 decks that are fucked out of 5. And then I've got 3 caps that I've drilled out. And like a fucking idiot, I drilled out the big airflow caps. And the little airflow caps aren't enough air for how I like to vape. So I've got 5 caps that are slightly too small for my liking, and 3 that are fucked.
Mate, honestly though, that flavor cap, try living with it for a couple of days, because when I first tried it, I was like, I'm not going to get on with this, and then I stuck it on for a couple of days, and I fucking love it now. I don't use the cloud one anymore.
It's actually really good, but for what I'm trying to achieve, which is a more airy vape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're asking me to, we're looking into doing bigger cloud caps. We're trying to find the optimal amount of air. And I've got ones that are undersized and ones that are either fucked or oversized.
What's the one I haven't got?
Syphilis, I think.
No, I've definitely got that one.
I think the flavor cap for me is just spot on airflow.
No, seriously, Stu, which is the one I've not got? What am I using?
Oh shit, yeah, you picked yours up at Expo, didn't you? So you had a stainless, which means you've not got a flavor cap.
Right, okay.
Want one? I'll send you one.
Please.
Go and post office tomorrow, I'll send you one.
You got any spare pins? Do you know what I asked?
I might have some decks that didn't pass QC. If I've got any decks that didn't pass QC, then I can steal pins out of them for you.
Send them my way. Yeah, because I said to Stu, just send me 5 to fuck about with.
Well, it don't matter anyway, because the factory's sending me 10 soon.
Well, yeah.
Oh, incidentally, we need to talk about that after the show as well, because I realised that something's probably going to happen that's really fucking dumb if I don't tell you.
Stu.
Okay.
Mark.
What are you vaping on?
Oh, I'm vaping on loads of stuff, mate.
Oh, here we go. Another half hour.
Did you want to actually know what I'm vaping? Berserker Therian 166 and Nico from Vulcan Bros at 12 milligram, because fuck the rules. I don't endorse actually fucking the rules. I just had some 72 milligram nick, so I can mix it at 12 milligram. But we don't sell it at that, as you well know. The box from the Geek Vape Athena, but not the RDA. I've got the 5A's basic on top of there. The box itself, I think, is fucking wicked. And the RDA is good, but I don't think it's as good as some of the dedicated Squonk RDAs that I've got. So I put the 5A's basic on there.
Stolen one of my boner boards tonight.
Sorry?
Stolen one of my boners for tonight.
Why have I? Why have I? You can still boner it. You can still boner it. You should still boner it.
I'm going to boner it.
I want you to boner it. Yeah, I think that looks banging set up like that. The only thing I kind of wish is that I had a little brass 510 drip tip just to match this like brass ring that's going on down here, because I think that would look fucking banging. A tiny little low profile brass 510 tip. I think would
that ring.
No, it's brass. Yeah, it's definitely brass.
Yeah, I'm just saying it looks copy.
Well, I'm saying it's not copper, all right?
You fucking absolute toss bag.
Yeah. And in that, I've got raspberry pudding from Mary's, which is, as you know, my favourite one in the Mary's line. I think it's fucking mega. And then, at the risk of making James' story jealous, today in the mail, I got the B2K RSA, which I've jammed straight onto my freehand. And I've been putting that through its paces since about 11 o'clock, 11:30 this morning when it came. More on that at a later point, but first impressions are very, very good of that. I think it's well worth the money that it commands. And in that, I'm vaping Nola from Lane Cove Vapor. Found it on sale. It's usually very, very expensive, Lane Cove Vapor. It's Ruby Roo's juice line. And
yeah, where did you find that?
It's usually very, very expensive, but Vape Cloud UK had a sale on it. What was it, babe? $2.99? Yeah, $2.99 for 10 mil.
Whoa.
Yeah, which, I mean, it's normally like fucking 5-6 quid for 10 mil. It's like a ridiculous price. So, you know, there was no way that I wasn't jumping at that opportunity. So grabbed some, and Nola is actually fucking fantastic. It's got a really, really unique flavor. It doesn't like, it's supposed to be like a pavlova with passion fruit, blackberries, and kiwi. And obviously, like meringue, passion fruit, blackberry, kiwi, they're all sort of common flavors that you've tasted in like a million juices, but nothing tastes like this. It's got a really, really unique flavor. So I am digging that setup hard. It's very much doing it for me at the moment. And then I've also got this, which I'm going to talk about later.
Okay, just like that.
I've just charged mine just so I can play along.
Hey Chris, look what colour I got, you dickhead. You're not so fucking clever now, are you?
Yeah, but mine's a prototype colour that you can't buy, so...
Well, more on that later.
There's mine. Oh shit, I'm going.
Mine's in the kitchen.
Stu, is your freehand boss fat or back?
Yeah, it's fatted.
Yeah.
I don't think it was shipped as fat. I think it was upgraded. I'm not the first owner.
I was about to say something there. I remembered we're on air.
That is a fucking dream setup, though. I'm so happy with that.
I mean, I'm really happy with how this squad could come out, to be honest.
That little RDA you've made looks really good.
Oh, it is so nice. The flavor.
I mean, I'll be honest. The deck looks cool. The top cap is a bit plain for my taste. I'd like to see a bit of something going on.
Well, I was gonna put the Pandora logo on it, but
yeah.
Again, this was just the prototype. There's no etching on the base or nothing. But at the same time, it's a bit of a pain in the dick because the deck's very similar to something that's come out post my design. So I designed this. I had it prototype, never showed anyone, never did anything, and then something's come out with a similar deck.
Right.
There's a bit of a kick in the balls, but
yeah, it does happen, unfortunately, doesn't it?
Yeah. I was going to put the Magma Reborn on it, but I dug my Magma out, stuck a squonk pin in it, and the fucking Cerakote's been battered. Like, it's got chunks missing everywhere.
This is quite cool. I was saying about like funky RDAs and stuff. I picked up a VT inbox in a trade earlier this week. And, you know, because I just wanted a little regulated squonker for sort of...
That's why I wanted the B2K. I just wanted a fucking... I
never realised that it comes with an RDA, this little thing, the Maze V2 RDA. Never seen this RDA before, but look, it's got a hinged top.
Mad Hatter had that about fucking 4 years ago.
It's like a velocity deck, and then the top just like pops up. Like, oh yeah. I thought that was quite cute. So I'll probably never use this because it's really tall, and I don't really like tall RDAs, especially not on squonking. Like it's basically the same size as a Kennedy 22.
Hey, what that would look good on a cam mod.
The mech mod.
Yeah.
It does appear to have an 810 drip tip though, so you know, all is not lost. Yeah, I mean, there's a number of 22mm mechs I could see it looking decent on, but it only has a squonk pin in it. There's no extra pin in with all this gubbins, so I'm assuming it is squonk only. But yeah, I just thought that was quite interesting. I remember the Mad Hatter having the top hat thing, but I'd sort of assumed that they were the only ones that did that. I didn't realise that there was.
The Sig Green X did it as well. They made like a Mutation X, pretty much the same. Well, like they do, but that had a whole hinge on it. That was pretty good. I mean, you're talking that was 4 years ago. Pretty good. I doubt I'd look at it again.
Chris,
yeah, free posting can only take 26 gauge.
No, the Mutation X, the X, the whatever one it was, the 2, I think it had.
The Mutation X had a velocity deck, didn't it? And the airflow was like the Watofo Lush. It was like a chevron of holes.
No, that was the newer one. The original one had a
4-post, wasn't it?
4-post, yeah, I think so. 4-post, yes, mate.
That looks lovely with the solo on it.
Fuck off, Mark. Stop it.
I really, really, really want an all black RDA.
No.
I've got a black Delrin Soul S cap here. I've got a whole. In fact, if you like the Soul S, I've got a Soul S with what caps have I got for it? Black Delrin, stainless steel, and clear. I think.
I don't like it enough to buy another one.
Yeah, they are quite expensive.
I've got one, but
I know.
I can't have one black RDA on it with one. Like I can't put the black cap on mine and then have black on black and white on white with one deck. Can I?
No.
Oh yes, Veronica, send me the link, babe.
You got to check her profile for the link, mate. She doesn't post it here.
Oh, shame.
Sorry. So, shall we move on? Shall we talk about some vaping related things?
Let's do it. It's been quite a busy week this week, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got a nice bit of news that you picked up, haven't you?
Yeah, there's a few bits that have come up this week. First thing I do want to discuss is the price of cigarettes are going up.
Yes.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Just what we need.
Poking past the £10 mark.
Oh, they're already poking past the £10 mark. And I only know this because my wife is still smoking, and she often says, "Go and get me a packet of fags."
Did you ever get tempted to donkey punch her?
Strangely, no.
It's the only time you can really get away with punching your missus, isn't it?
What, would you ask you to buy a packet of fags? How's that work?
Chandler clearly doesn't know what a donkey punch is, does he?
Obviously not. No, I'm showing my age. What's a donkey punch?
A donkey punch is the act of punching your sexual partner in the back of the head mid-coitus.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
When she's up in it, a bit like a labradoodle, and she's about to climax, you punch her in the back of the head, didn't you? So you can acceptably.
Is that supposed to be pleasurable, or is it just a complete ass wipe thing to do?
Sometimes I wonder about Chris. I really.
Well, I spent about an hour on Hangouts following the iOS show last week discussing cottaging with Mark Todd while he sat in his cottage-like shed.
The thing is, most people have a little part in their brain that when something like that comes into it, triggers and says, "Don't say that out loud. It's not a good idea." Chris doesn't seem to have that part of his brain. He just says it.
It's just not like, it's not like we're live to the nation or anything,
Yeah.
If we had the nation watching, we're live to Just Jay Give Me Free Shit and for about 3 others.
Either way, fags are going over a tenner. So
yeah.
Yeah. We digress.
Apparently, the smoking rates in the UK have actually fallen. Apparently, what would you say percentage-wise of the UK actually smokes tobacco?
It's used to.
I know it's down. I think it's down.
It used to be about 11%.
Say again, Stu.
I think it's down to something like 8.5%, or is it 8.5 million?
Chandler?
I feel I vaguely remember a 11% being thrown around, but that might be.
I think that was the figure in the last one, wasn't it? The 2015 to 2016, as opposed to.
Throw this out to chat. Throw numbers into the chat. I think you'll be surprised. Chris?
I thought it was something like 17, but I may very well be wrong.
You're all very, very, very close. No one's hit the nail on the head. Let's see if chat comes back any closer. Either way, e-cig Summit met this week. e-cig Summit's been going for about 5 years, and the idea of it is that they bring vapors together, researchers together, also the rest of the industry. So that includes independent, big tobacco, as well as pharma, unfortunately. Public health and government are also involved. They get together every year and discuss e-cigs. Oh, Lance, so very close. Apparently the UK is 15%. 15%, and it's down to 15%. So e-cigs.
That's very subtle, Stu. No one noticed. No one noticed that.
If it's down,
I managed to slip that one through.
Yeah, completely.
I was doing my best not to interrupt Mark while he was giving a very informative speech.
Go on, Stu.
But at the same time, Risa really wants to do her nails, and all her nail stuff is in one of the desk drawers. So my solution to that was to take the entire drawer out and pass it to her.
So basically,
solution.
So basically, your solution was to get your drawers out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfectly decent solution. Didn't quite manage to slip it under the camera. Sort of.
Yeah.
Didn't quite manage to get it through.
So you just completely stymied them. So back to 15%.
Yes.
Yeah, 15%, and they're kind of hailing e-cigarettes as being definitely playing a massive role in.
If it's down to 15%, what was it?
It was 2016. It was 15.8%, which equates to around 7.6 million of the population. Cheers, Dino.
So sorry. I'm so sorry, Mark. I'm actually genuinely so interested in what you're saying, and I'm really trying to concentrate.
Send her out to go sit in the hall.
Make her face the corner.
So yes, 5 years ago, I'm not sure, Rob. Those aged 18 to 24 in the UK experienced the largest decline in smoking prevalence of 6.5% post point since 2010.
Have you primed Dino with these before we started?
No, that's actually a really interesting figure, because it shows that young people, or younger people, are actually the ones most inclined to make the change.
Which is good. 18 to 24 is a good number. It's a good age. When I was at school, it was cool to go and have a fag at break time, to go and have a fag, and all the cool kids all used to congregate together. And imagine now that they're all standing there blowing clouds, but we're not here to talk about that. Anyway, so the e-cig summits.
You got fucking caught, didn't you? Standing 3 feet above the rest of the students, can't hide your fag in the little crowd.
Yeah, and that. So there were 5 key points that they were looking at the e-cig summit. And one of the first things, and this is something else that we're going to talk about tonight, was vaping so far doesn't cause harm to the lungs. Okay, so this week there was a report released looking at not only, and I did pop a link to the statistics in the Vape Talk UK group earlier. They've done a health study of the past 3.5 years, and feel free to read through, feel free to have a look, but the be all and end all is there's no reduction in lung function amongst vapors who have never smoked. So they had a control group. The control group were the people, and they were vaping on zero nic, alongside the non-sample group, the smokers, the ex-smokers who were vaping on nicotine-based product. And the results have shown that there is absolutely no, over 3.5 years, absolutely no harm to your lungs. If you scroll through some of the evidence, you'll see blood pressure, heart rate, body weight, lots and lots of different things, and you'll see that it's all positive. That there's no obvious increase in problems with blood pressure, problems with weight, etc., etc.
And the thing is, they have been completely transparent with this, haven't they? So all of these statistics that are in this report are available for people to view.
Absolutely, it's not cloak and dagger. It is by it is an open source. It's not like it's a report that's done by Big Pharma or BAT or anything like that. So it's not. They're not going out to prove or disprove. They're looking at it from a from a purely scientific approach.
It's a really good article, but the one thing, and they were completely transparent with this as well, was it was a very small group that they had. They started off with about 15 or 16, but they had quite a few dropouts, so they ended up with 9 people. So the results are based on 9 people vaping who never smoked before.
Correct.
Which, to be fair, I'm quite impressed they managed to find people who were prepared, having never smoked, to partake in the experiment, because they were vaping on nicotine, weren't they? So.
Marcus in the chat has put unlike ICOS. I'm assuming that he's talking about with regards to research data.
Absolutely, and that's something that came up as one of the key points from the e-cig summit. Heat not burn. Basically, the outcome of that was not enough known about them. But
really interesting thing with ICOS, actually, Mark.
What's that?
So, you know, old Dr. Konstantinos Farsalinos, who we all love very much, that did lots of very positive vaping studies. He also released a very positive study on ICOS.
No.
Talking about how fantastic it was. And he even went on stage and did a presentation.
This is PMI,
yeah? Yeah. And it's a really weird one, because it's strange that someone who is really respected by the vape community as providing very good quality data would put up a study that says that this product is significantly harm reducing, and then several other studies would appear afterwards suggesting that he was completely wrong and that it is in fact very harmful.
Do you know, for obviously all the evidence that has all been provided by PMI suggests that it is much safer than smoking. However, the limited tests saying that it's 10 times more harmful than e-cigs. Now, you'll be interested to know that PMI have actually put $1 billion into a foundation for research. $1 billion.
Confident then?
Is
Extremely.
that the research into the ICOS ones? Or
I don't know. What the information that I've got is they've put $1 billion into a foundation for research. Now, is that research for e-cigs, or is it research into heat not burn?
Oh, it's a fucking tax write-off anyway.
Of course it is.
I don't have anything particularly against ICOS or heat not burn. I can see the use of them in smokers having them to transition. What bugs the hell out of me is the fact that when they are selling these ICOS products, they keep going, oh yeah, there's been loads of research and da 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 da. There's been no independent research. It's all been done by PMI Science.
It's all been
all done by the PMI Science, and they have got quite a lot of data, but if you really sit and troll through it.
So the big question is, do we use this money, or do we shun it completely because it's tainted by big tobacco? What do? Do we use it, or do we fuck it off?
We use it, as far as I'm concerned. I'm not asked where it comes from. I know there's a lot of vapors that are really anti big tobacco, and yeah, I don't know whether I'm on the fence.
Do you know what my hatred is, Chandler? My hatred is that they went out of their way to discredit e-cigs.
Oh, yeah.
They went out of their way to discredit and try and prove that e-cigs were equally as bad for you as tobacco and blah blah blah. And now they're going up and they're mowing up all the big boys. They're taking over the industry. They've realised that they can't win. So they're going around, well, if we can't win, we can't keep people smoking cigarettes. What we'll do is we'll get them, but we'll still make money off them because we're going to buy into e-liquid. We're going to buy into devices. We're going to buy into heat not burn. That's what fucks me off.
But the one thing that's getting me with big tobacco is the things that big tobacco have brought out they've been going for the they've been going for the I want to sell this in a petrol station market, and the shit that you buy in a petrol station is 5-year-old vape tech. You know,
A bit like what's in your cabinet.
probably what's in, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So they're not. They're trying to go for the quick buck, and they're trying to replace the cigarette and where cigarettes are sold, and that's just not what's happening with the vape scene at the moment. You go into a vape shop, you know, and it all depends on how you're doing it. Are you a purely I'm quitting smoking, where in that case the stuff you can get from the petrol station's fine, but are you a hobbyist, and then that stuff just holds no interest.
You see, for me, I think regardless of where, you know, the end user, typically the starter, they don't give a shit where their product comes from. They don't give a shit who manufactures it, as long as they're keeping off the cigarettes. And to me, I'm with that 100%. 100%. As long as you ain't smoking fags, to me, it doesn't matter where that e-liquid, where that device, whether it comes from Tesco, whether it comes from BP, wherever it comes from, I don't care. You're off the cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
The problem is that same desire from people that are new to quitting to just stay off the fags no matter what also creates a window of opportunity for companies like Philip Morris International to prey on people and to, you know, to appeal to that very natural reaction that we have when we're first quitting smoking, to want something as similar as possible to a cigarette. You know, when I first started vaping, the first thing I went in to try was high nicotine, loads of throat hit, tobacco flavor.
Yep.
And I didn't get on very well with it, so I went to menthol because I smoked menthol tips. You know, and high nicotine menthol on a tight draw, you know, Clearo was what I wanted, because I wanted it to be like a fag. And everyone, when they quit smoking, they want it to be like a fag, and that's where these fucking vultures come in, and they prey on people, and they appeal to that desire for it to be similar to tobacco, and so shit like IQOS gets to be sold.
One of the other things that came up at the summit, and they branded it a controversy, and that is short fills.
Controversy.
No, I'm using the word compliant with my fingers. So compliant vendors are worried that competitors are using short fills to get around regulation and sell untested e-liquid. However, many vapors are keen to keep them. Now, I'm going to stand here and put my hand up. I am involved in stuff. I'm involved in manufacture, and yes, we manufacture short fills. Yes, these short fills are manufactured as 50 mils with room for a 10 mil nick shot. However, we have made sure that they go through tox testing, because we're expecting a massive change in industry in the next 12 months. I can guarantee it, that those goalposts are going to be moved, that legislation is going to change, and I want to be ready for that. And I'm sure that there's a lot of other, let's quote unquote, uncompliant vendors that will follow suit.
It depends, doesn't it? I mean, the 50 mil short fills. I know in a 10 mil you're not allowed diactyl. I said it right. Diacetyl. You're not allowed that. However, you can have diacetyl in a 50 mil short fill, and I'm sure there are.
Diacetyl tastes so good.
Yeah, this is the thing. And there is nothing stopping me creating, you know, getting, I mean, that juice is one that I've pre-mixed myself. There's nothing stopping me whacking that into a 50 mil bottle, going to my, you know, opening up this vape shop and selling it as a short fill. So I can see the worry.
I mean, the thing is, as well, we can't really afford to fuck up this little thing that we've got with short-fills. Do you know what I mean?
The issue is you speak to anyone from the MHRA and you say to them, so what would the proposed regulatory route be for short fills? They've got nothing to say, because how can they regulate short fills? They can't regulate VG, it's in fucking everything. They can't regulate PG because it's in fucking everything. They can't regulate food flavorings. So the only thing they could do is intended use. But how are they going to get you on intended use when all you've got to do is buy those ingredients and then mix them together?
Because they're probably going to go down the route of saying that you can't have a 10 ml gap in the bottle. That's what they'll end up doing.
And then vendors will just start selling a 60 or 100 ml bottle to go with it, or at least offer those for sale as an empty bottle.
Yeah, you'll just sell 50 ml in a 50 ml bottle, and then a 60 ml bottle.
So what will happen is you'll end up having to have short fills for them to be compliant, or hopefully they'll move down the 30, 60 ml route, which allows us to add nicotine to a 30 or even a 60 ml bottle.
That would make the most sense, wouldn't it? To actually go.
You would still have to go through the HMRA, and you'd have to have it tox tested, which I'm all up for.
Yeah, Rob Hardman's just said concentrate shots for the next way around it. That's another point.
Absolutely, which is, you know, hats off to John. That's exactly what Just Had Nick do. You know, it's going to be very, very, very difficult to, I'm not saying police it, because there doesn't appear to be much policing going on at the moment. You go into these Facebook groups, you can still buy 100 ml, 3 ml, 3 milligram, 6 milligram juices. That's still happening, and people are flouting the law. It's, you know, I'm aware of some stores still doing that. Some stores, I heard of a shop that was selling bags. That's all they were selling, bags. But in that bag, you got a free 100 ml, 3 milligram bottle of e-liquid.
I honestly don't think that there are. I think that there are so many different permutations of how you can make and sell e-liquid that if the industry really wants to, the industry will never run out of ways to get around it, ever.
Absolutely.
No, definitely not. I think even with the concentrate shop, essentially you're selling food flavouring, so you'd have to adhere to that.
Yeah, I mean, like, how do they regulate that?
Well, they can't.
We'll have to see what happens. Obviously, there is going to be a massive change. There is going to be a massive change.
Yeah, something is coming, but what shape and form it's going to take is very hard to say.
Yeah.
Really difficult to speculate on at this stage.
One of the other things that came up at the summit was healthcare professionals making up facts about vaping. Now, this is something I've been quite vocal about in the past. Listening to nurses berate vaping and say that it's equally as bad as smoking, blah, 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 blah. Now, apparently this came up in the e-cig summit, that healthcare professionals are making up facts about vaping and killing smokers as a result.
Right. I think Stu should set him right tomorrow or Thursday. Power to the people. Back once again with the Renegade Master.
You're just determined to spoil every bit of fucking news that we've got this week, aren't you?
Well, I can't get
You're the shittest presenter in the world, Chris.
I can't get a word in edgeways because every time I open my mouth, you fucking butt in your big.
Makes a pleasant fucking change.
So I think I'll just chuck interjections in where I can get a word in. I go silent now, fucking gobshite. Conveniently always got something to say when I'm mid-sentence.
So yeah, no, literally, it's been a cracking week for news, a cracking week for pro vaping. There's no end of stuff that I can sit and talk about tonight, but I'm going to hold back for another show. How many viewers have we got?
41 at the moment.
41.
Hey.
I don't want to sit and bore everyone with
actual vaping related news.
exactly. So
Talk about breadsticks.
I'm gonna leave it there. But you know, it's been a really positive week. I'm happy with it. I'm sure you guys should all be happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see the news trending back towards the positive, isn't it?
Definitely. Cracking. Who's next?
I've got a couple of little bits.
I've got zero news. Crack on.
Okay, so I'll do the bad news first, because I don't want to go into too much detail on it. But as you know, Matt and Dan at Frostbox Industries are good friends of ours. They have unfortunately announced this week that they are going to cease trading as Frostbox Industries Limited. I'm not going to go into too many details as to what has led to that decision, but they have decided to shelve the company for the time being. They're not intending to go away forever, and Matt has actually confirmed to me today that he will be continuing to take and honor orders, sole trading again as he used to originally when Frostbox first started. So if you want a Frostbox, you will still be able to get them, but they'll be back to the sort of first come first served basis. They'll be in much smaller numbers than they have been this year. But unfortunately, Frostbox Industries, as the company that we've sort of started to know them as, are disappearing. And I have a feeling that along with that, the coil syrup juice line will also be going by the wayside. So I'm pretty sure that what stock there is all that is going to exist. So if you want to try it, get it, because I'm pretty sure that once it's gone, it's gone. So yeah, that is really sad, but obviously, you know, wish Matt the best of luck with carrying on, and hopefully he'll get back on his feet in 2018 and come back sort of bigger and bolder than ever. Yeah, I am echoing from someone.
I'll refresh.
Yeah, I'm not sure who.
So I've got headphones on.
So yeah, that's a bit shit, but you know, these things do happen, and they're not going for good. So you will still be able to get fresh boxes. You'll probably just have to wait a little longer for them. In other interesting news, the shop that I work at, Age of Steam, is being visited this Thursday by stop smoking nurses from the NHS, from the local NHS authority. And they've reached out to us wanting to come in and learn a bit more about vapor products, about what's on the market, what we recommend for people quitting, why it works, how it works, that kind of thing. And that to me is really interesting, because that suggests that the NHS isn't just taking vaping seriously from the point of view of Stoptober, but they are actually taking vaping seriously in general. You know, that shows that they want to actually get involved and know their shit and be able to give good advice. So what I would suggest is anyone that owns vape shops, if they think that this is a good idea, if you own a vape shop, get in touch with your local NHS Stop Smoking Authority and find out if they want to come down to your shop and learn a bit. Find out if they want to send some people down. You know, tell them that in other areas this is what the NHSs are doing, and they might go for it and take a bit of time out of your day.
Make sure your staff are competent, please.
Yeah. Probably best to make sure that you have the good team on.
Vape work very, very closely with the Stop Smoking Service, Leicester. Now, the Leicester Stop Smoking group, which is council run,
Is that oh, for fuck me, ignore me.
Can someone mute that cunt?
We've been doing our best to ignore you all show.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chandler.
Yeah, we work really, really closely with our local authority, and our local authority has actually had some. They've posted on Instagram and Twitter, and it's ended up being spread worldwide.
So do you think we ought to tell Chris, because I can't actually unmute him now?
I think he's actually more interested in his phone. So, so yeah, no.
Doing something spectacular. Sorry.
So to get local vape shops, you know, get you stop smoking services, whether it's council run, whether it's run by your local doctors, NHS, get them on board.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a fantastic idea. It's exactly what I would hope to see from the NHS, you know, actually going in and getting some first-hand knowledge from people that know what they're talking about and showing a bit of faith in the industry, you know. I mean, when you look at this industry, in terms of how people would know and understand it now, it's existed for 7 or 8 years, you know, and it's undergone massive evolution during that time. But the main defining factor of this industry is that for the vast majority of that 7 or 8 years, it's completely self-policed. It has completely self-regulated. You know, we have created our own rules for what is acceptable and unacceptable. We have turfed out bathtub brewers, and as the legislation has come in, generally, by and large, it's actually followed suit of what we've already been pushing for within the industry. You know, we wanted cowboy juice makers to fuck off. Now they're gone for the most part.
Could we just clarify that if there is a company out there called Cowboy Juice Makers, we weren't.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That is a very good point.
Now there's a brand.
Same as if there is a company called Bathtub Brews or anything like that, then we weren't talking about you specifically.
There is a tub brews.
Steaming Guns, I think that they're the closest ones to cowboy juices, but they're really good juices. Just thought I'd get that one in.
Do you think they are? I really wasn't impressed with them.
Oh yeah, I didn't like the Scrapper, which was the licoricey menthol one. I wasn't too keen on that.
That one bothered me the most. It didn't taste anything like pecans or pies.
You are joking. That's my favourite one. Pecan pie was gorgeous. Love it.
Anyway, yeah, I just, you know, I think that feels like a really really serious, decent, positive bit of news to me. And I think it'd be a really smart idea if other vape shops got in. You know, if the NHS is of that attitude, then approach them, see what they're saying, you know, see if they're interested. They may just ask you for leaflets or an email, or, you know, they may decide that they want to send some people down and spend a day with you like they're doing with us. You don't know, but it's got to be worth doing, you know, and it only serves to stand us in a better light.
Definitely.
100%. No, once they spend the whole day with you, they might fucking hate vapors.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point. Should we do Chandler's bit next?
Do Chandler's bit.
Yeah, hey.
Chandler's got his own section.
Yeah, I've got my own section.
Have you got a name for it yet?
I haven't actually got a name for it. So
you know what we should call it? You know what we should call it? We should call it Chandler's erection section.
Okay. Let's not and say we did, eh? What do you reckon? Yeah,
I like it.
You would. Yeah, your kind of thing. Right. Okay. Right. Let me see if I can do the technical side of things. Where is it?
Chandler, you've got to introduce it. You've got to build a bit of anticipation first.
Dino, there is a Bathtub Brewers e-juice line. It's American, and I was just flicking through them actually. But yeah, chances of them watching. We do apologise with your rubber duck.
Yeah, I mean, no one in the UK watches the fucking show. I don't think any American juice companies will be watching it.
Sorry, Chad.
Why isn't my photos thing an application to share? Oh, sod it! My whole screen.
Share screen.
Yeah, there you go. Right. Okay. Basically, I've been trawling through. Obviously, I'm a member of quite a few of the Facebook groups, and I thought I would share a few of the posts that I have found that actually made me smile, or I thought were amusing. So I'm not trolling anyone. I'm actually complimenting you on top posts. So that's basically what my thought was. So this is the first one. I found this one in UK Squonkers. This was a bloke who's basically his mod auto fired while he wasn't in the room, and just completely demolished it. There then ensued. It was the chat about, yeah, you get some liquid in between your 510 and the contact, it leaches the brass into it and it causes it to fire. So there were a few suggestions as how we could solve it, and what amused me was Rick Grove put a post in, and his answer to this was, make the throw further than a gnat's pube. and I thought, yeah, okay, that'd do it.
Going back to the actual photo.
This one or that one?
No, the next one.
This one.
That is a gnat's pube, isn't it?
I mean, that isn't, if we're honest, far enough, is it?
No. There seems to be a trend at the moment where people are making mods or wanting mods where there is hardly any throw on the button at all, because they want a complete flat contact against the 510, and that just kind of doesn't make much sense to me. But there we are. Yeah. So there we go.
I mean, that's such a small throw that when you rotate the button lock, it'll actually push the button out.
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it?
Well, it definitely will. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
It's pretty fucking shoddy, to be fair.
So anyway, there you go. And so along with a comedy Nats pube comment,
Chris, talk.
it's also got. Why? I can't see what's going on.
Chris, talk.
Oh,
I've just zoomed in.
Oh, Chris, you.
That's some great Photoshop work that you've spent half the show doing there, Chris.
That is why you've been so bloody quiet this entire. Yeah.
Since you muted me, cunt.
Oh, swipe.
Sorry, Chandler. Please continue.
That's fine. So yeah, I was just saying, there you go. So some nice safety advice there. If you've got a gnat's pube in between your contact and your pin, just beware. It might auto fire if you're not careful. Right, next one. Oh, here we go. I like. Right, this was posted by Paul Ibbison, and 10 out of 10 for an arty photo. I think the photo is fantastic in the first place.
Can't steal show content from Ideal Home Show.
Sorry, yeah, I should have blanked that bit out, but yeah, I'm pinching it from the Ideal Home Show. It's only from the Facebook. It's from the Facebook group.
Content.
Yeah, to be fair, you've kind of stolen the whole concept, and then you've stolen it from their group as well. What if they were going to?
I haven't stolen the concept. They do Troll of the Week. This is different, completely different. This is anyway.
Troll of the Week.
So this one, he posted at the top, "Nah, car." So obviously a pun on the old car. But I noticed it said see translation underneath, and I'm thinking, well, okay, what's that? See translation. So I clicked on it, and it did this. I'm like, awesome. Okay, I even posted a message to Paul saying, please tell me that because it made me laugh.
Yeah, that's pretty brilliant.
Yeah.
I love it when Facebook does that with the C translation thing.
It's cooking. Apparently, car is like in Polish. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. So a bit of language lessons as well for this show. Oh, here you go. I just included this one purely because I thought Chris would like it. There you go. What do you reckon, Chris? Mobile shed.
Personally, I've already got one.
What, with wheels on it?
No, I don't have one. I wouldn't want one. It's pretty shit. To be fair.
I could just see you in one of those, Chris.
Yeah, you could just troll it. Could you imagine turning up to Vape Fest with that? You know, as you taking your mobile shed.
I mean, you could pull at the side of the road and cook a fry up, I suppose.
You'd run the risk of burning the car down.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got a bit of a sort of hills have eyes kind of feel to it, hasn't it? You know, I think it kind of works for Chris.
I think the aerodynamics need a little bit of tweaking up. Personally, I'd have had the roof rotated 90 degrees.
Can you imagine if that crashed into Dale's Mona? Or Paul Harrison's this week.
So there you go. I thought I'd include that one because I thought it was amusing.
Weird, eh? That like Dale and Paul have both had somebody crash into their cars this week.
Well, technically, Paul didn't have anyone crash into his.
Well, no, he's rolled into a van, didn't it?
No, the lorry driver didn't put the handbrake on, and the articulated lorry decided to roll as gravity does, and yeah, hit his courtesy car because luckily he hadn't had his car back.
You're still sharing, Chandler?
I'm still sharing. Right, I got one more. Last one. This one was from. It was in the UK Squonkers for sale trade page. So Daryl's from Rotherham. So am I right to read this? I'm going to read this in a Yorkshire accent. Okay, would like to trade female squonker. Sunday evening to Wednesday morning. Must be an 8 out of 10. Exchange for pleasant vape coiling, building experience, mixed with vino, G&Ts, Cody, and all the general day-to-day frolities, alongside trying out each other's gear and generally experiencing the wider community, albeit on a short-term exchange. Location, just to the side of Tinsley Viaduct near Meadowhall. Everything has been sonic cleaned and given certificate of no nasties by local gun clinic. I'm sorry. That was just corky.
Hang on. If it's Rotherham, then isn't it the Bygum Clinic?
The Bygum Clinic, yeah, local Bygum Clinic. Yes.
I mean, to be fair, it all sounded pretty legit until that last sentence. I was halfway through a PM.
All right, fair enough. I was wondering. I should have checked really how many of those 25 comments were X1s. But
how many of them were yours, X1?
Hey, Chandler's too classy. He wouldn't X1 on that.
No.
Dibs.
But yeah. Are you going to leave that as your lower third now for the rest of the show?
Yep.
Oh, bugger.
The fucking lovely.
I'm now stuck with Yorkshire accent now.
Well, I put out a message looking for a James Hetfield lookalike vapor to exchange general bollocks and niceties, and this guy turned up.
Oh God!
I don't know what get up he thought he would turn up in, but not my place to judge people and how they dress, I suppose.
Right, that'll teach me to muck about pre-show, won't it?
To be fair, if Chris is in the chat, nothing's fucking safe, Chandler.
To be fair, if you hadn't muted me, I would have probably ripped on Stu. But what I like is where I've had to just sort of round your head off a bit, it looks like you've got a little skull cap on.
Yeah, okay. Right, enough. Next, so what are we going on to bonus now then?
No,
I think it's probably bonus time.
Let's talk about this leather vest a little bit more.
Yeah, let's not say we did. I'm telling you, let's not say we did.
Definitely boner time.
Oh,
Boner.
Here we go. The boner board is up. Who's going first? I really need a piss. So do one of you guys want to go first while I go for a Jimmy piss?
I'll go first. Why not?
Oh, okay. I need to cancel mine then. I was just uploading.
Oh, you go.
No, go on. I've cancelled now.
No, I've got 3 this week. I can't remember what's what. I didn't.
3.
when I saved them, so it's just the two of them are relatively fast.
Chris,
Yes, mate.
your overlay, you've still got me in the corner going, yay!
I did cut. Oh, what? I know. If you can see, actually, I've cut out where the gap in Chandler's arm and vest would be, but your head just happens to be where the vest was. Wait, I don't know if you'll be able to see if I look. There we go. Look.
Yeah.
Just because I'm wearing black. Yeah, boner. This fucking thing. Oh, Stu's not here to click on it. I'll just wait for him, talk amongst ourselves. So, yeah, where'd you get your jacket from, Chandler?
I actually got that jacket from Las Vegas. There you go.
Did you lose a bet?
I lost a lot of bets in Las Vegas, to be fair.
I say he lost his shirt, but managed to maintain the gilet.
I do like it. It makes you look a bit like Clay Morrow with like an overactive thyroid.
Yeah, I actually look quite skinny and.
You look very skinny compared to him.
No,
he does play Hellboy, to be fair.
that's svelte.
There you go.
Oh, here he is. Here he is.
Hey.
This little thing. These are fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
So fucking good. Well, honestly, I saw everyone raving about one. This is actually the free shit that arrived with my order. But yeah, I didn't know what it was. And I saw everyone raving about this fucking... why was Rob Hardman timed out?
You're being mean to Chandler.
What did he say?
What?
I know, some derogatory comment about being gay. I didn't like it, so I put him in timeout.
I think it was said in jest, to be fair.
Don't care. No one picks on Chandler except us. He's Vape Talk UK staff.
Oh, you get bullied everywhere, don't you?
No, that's not true. And if anyone else picks on you, we always stick up for you, you fat cunt. So shut up.
Yeah, you're regular. He's almost part of the team.
I didn't even see it.
I haven't seen it either, so I can't.
Yeah,
That's good, Chandler. It means your feelings weren't hurt then.
I can click view deleted message.
Yeah. He said that you look like a poster boy for a German gay fest.
To be fair, I did say that I do look like something from Village People. I think that was my comment when I did it at the time.
Anyway, this fucking thing is awesome. I saw someone raving about some Geek Vape one or the equivalent. But the Geek Vape one's like $30. This one's like 11 quid or something, 11.99. And you just put your juice in. It's got a tube that goes all the way to the bottom. You squeeze your air out, and voila, it fills itself up. Just screws into your 510.
I really like the one that comes with the Theron.
This has been made by Wizards, Harry.
They're fucking awesome.
It does work. It does work really well. Yeah. I
think we've lost Chandler.
actually pay.
Oh, no.
He's on that Poundland internet again, isn't he?
Is that my internet that keeps pausing? It's not. It's not you lot that keeps pausing. It's me.
Definitely you, mate.
Fucking hell. I'm just saying. I paid for mine. I'm just saying. Paid for mine.
I would have paid for mine if I knew what it was.
I didn't pay for mine, to be fair.
I didn't know what it was, and it's fucking awesome.
It's fantastic, yeah.
Hey, to be fair, it's worth it. It's really handy.
I mean, it just saves so much ball ache. I mean, Mark, remember when we were talking about designs, and I ended up drawing up a squonk design, but we had this big screw-on panel, and Mark said it'd be a right pain in the ass to take your bottle out to fill it.
Yeah.
If we supplied one of these of all of them, we could run with that. But they're fucking awesome.
Now the only thing is, I've really gotten into using beauty rings on my squonkers. Yeah. If you use a beauty ring, it is actually a bit of a fiddle, taking your atty off and then trying your best not to lose your beauty ring, and then refilling it with the squonk refill system, and then putting your atty back on with the beauty ring.
But why are you putting your atty somewhere safe and not your beauty ring?
You see, for me, typically, my beauty rings tend to be attached to the bottom of my RDA. So It'd literally be a pull-off.
Yeah, mine. It's probably just the ones that I've got, but the majority of the ones that I've got don't tend to stay on the bottom of the RDA. They tend to stay on the mod.
Right.
It's not. I mean, it's not. You know, it's not an issue in any way, shape, or form. And all it means is I'm not using mine as much at the moment. But I think if I was going out anywhere, I'd still take a refill bottle out with me and not a bottle of juice.
No, this is so convenient.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They really are fantastic. And Bone Vape do one as well, and it doesn't work nearly as well as Rick's one.
See, the thing is as well, if you've got your missus in the car, you can just chuck it out and say, fill that up. Do you know what I mean? Once they start fiddling about with the internals, things blow up.
Well, it doesn't say much for fucking Amy, does it? Jesus.
Well, I don't know.
So where are we going to stick it? I think it's got to be quite high up on that then board.
Very high up. I want at least fully charged.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely goes in at least fully charged. That's, you know, we love Rick. We love most of the things that he makes. And this is just another example of something fantastic that he's made.
Let's go fully charged then.
Mm.
Oh, shit. Someone moved it. I ended up clicking the thing below it and moved unsolicited ads.
Edit post, squonk refill system. And it's probably worth pointing out, one of these is available in the prize package that Rick Grove donated to the raffle. So if you want to find out just how fucking great they are, enter the raffle.
Buy a raffle ticket. It's only a £5.
This is my next boner.
What's this?
What is this?
This. Oh, this one doesn't want to big up. Oh, maybe it does. Imperial Liquids Brazzle Bubblegum. You seem to put a new random liquid on this fucking board like every week.
I don't. That fucking this bubblegum line is awesome. So
what is a Brazzle though?
Brazzle's blue raspberry.
You see, for me,
why don't you call it blue raspberry?
For me, it's the ice cream.
No, that sounds like my cup of tea.
The bubblegum ice cream is banging. That's what I've got. No, I haven't. I've got the last of the Brazzle in this. But the bubblegum ice cream is fucking awesome. But the grape bubblegum is brilliant as well. It's been hard for me to find throughout my vaping journey a decent bubblegum or a decent grape. And they've sort of done both in one. But the bubblegums are fucking brilliant. The ice cream is really fucking good. In general, it's just awesome.
There's very rarely that I find a line that I like. Personally, I like the whole line, but with Imperial, I genuinely like the whole line.
I think it's fucking awesome. I mean, I think it is up there with Nico. Not Nico. The fucking that one.
It's still called Cami.
That one. I think it's up there with Cami. I think, to be honest, I think the Brazzle one is probably a bit better. But they're not the same liquid. Do you know what I mean? They're not the same profile, so it's not really. It's really irrelevant. But all three of them are fucking brilliant.
Now the trouble I've got is I'm not. No offense, I'm not particularly keen on the Kame or the Kame or whatever.
That's right. Send your bottle to Chris.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I probably will actually because
he fucking loves the stuff.
Yeah, I'll send it, Chris, because it's just sitting on my side, just sitting there looking pretty. And
I was going to send some to him anyway, so.
And I also do not like bubblegum as a juice flavour.
That's because back when you were a kid, the bubble gum you had was made of all sorts of random shit. Now they make good bubble gum.
Right.
You had those little grey blocks that look like cube food out of some futuristic sci-fi film, didn't you?
Well, I just don't like it. You don't like bubblegum. Yeah, it was when I was a child, it was Hubba Bubba. Remember Hubba Bubba?
I do. Fuck you hell.
Oh yeah, Hubba Bubba bubblegum.
I remember there was a kid at school who went. His parents took him away to a tour of the Hubba Bubba factory.
The one that remembers the Anglo bubblegums, the Anglo bubblies that were in the pink and blue wrappers.
They were fucking awesome.
They were banging. That was easily the best bubblegum. The
flavour ran out after about 3 seconds.
Yeah, so you just put another one in your mouth and you don't know about 20 of them in your mouth.
Those ones with it was like a turquoise yellow and pink.
It's Blue, yellow, and pink, yeah, and it was like a pellet of pink bubblegum that was lightly dusted in some sort of powder that definitely wasn't sugar, but was probably cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some sort of addictive substance. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is about them. They just fucking. Oh yeah, anyway, back to my Hubba Bubba anecdote. So the kid at school come back to school. These boxes with like fucking 100 Hubba Bubbas in each of them. So we went for a phase of everyone having bubble gum in school, and then fucking teachers used to go nuts about it. And he got in trouble, and then all of the other kids at school thought it'd be fun to just stick their chewing gum on his backpack, because they put up pieces of card in the hallway, said, look, put your chewing gum on there and you won't be punished. And everyone stuck them all over his backpack.
Nice.
So with Imperial then.
Oh, it's definitely going up there. Right up.
Stu?
Guys, what the fuck do you want from me? It's a bottle of juice, isn't it? Do what you like with it, Chris.
I'm going to cover myself in it and touch myself.
I've never had it, so I can't. Like, I don't know. Send me some. Give me some free shit.
I've to be fair, I've just ordered some.
Oh, somebody got to Velada before me.
Yeah, I was thinking about covering. You said I could do what I want with the juice, so I was thinking of covering myself in it and looking at pictures of her, but I can't get the link now.
Is that like the female version of Vlad? That name?
No, that's Vlad's uncle.
Is like the female version of Vlad? JB was hoping to impale her.
Oh,
God.
right. I'm going to move that up high. My third bone is just loading somewhere. There we go. Yeah, this one, I just wanted to add it so you lot could all download it and use it for yourself. Just save it straight off the boner board. And,
Send me the PNG, Chris. Send me the PNG.
Oh, it's
Great.
There's a PNG, but it might have a white background. I'm going to just forward that to you, Mark. 2 seconds, mate.
Thank you.
Oh, for crap's sake.
I think that should be the new VT UK build map that we should bring out.
Oh, no.
with all that shitty trimming that Chris has badly done in Photoshop as well. Like, no extra effort at all. Just that shitty trimming and then a VT UK logo on the other side.
No. You know what we need to do? We need to have a caption competition on the Vape Talk Facebook for it. What do you reckon?
And then a speech bubble.
Yeah.
If we get enough interest, Mark might put it on a mug.
Oh.
There's not much Mark won't put on a mug.
I'm gonna crawl under a stone and just start rocking gently in a corner.
There you go, Chandler. I've put it in absolutely fucking incredible for you. How's that?
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Stu. Love you. Mwah.
Cowboy Chandler.
Great.
Mark, the key is airdrop, just so you can keep the PNG format.
How? What? Do what with it?
Airdrop it.
How?
Go to your pictures, highlight that picture, click more, and then
I've got it turned off.
Should we discuss the boring technical bit afterwards?
I seriously don't want my WhatsApp stuff appearing.
You're on his dick pic.
Well, I can't say that what Mark has sent me has been savoury. Go on, someone else put their boners up while Mark gets around the techie side.
Who's bonering next? Is it me?
I'll go next.
You'll go next, okay.
So as I mentioned earlier, now I was a little John Brown. I was a little underwhelmed when I first saw this. I just thought, hey ho, it's another cheap Chinese squonker. However, I built a few of these at the weekend for customers.
Click it.
I'm vaping one right now.
Honest to God.
Fina.
But what are they, 50 quid?
55 quid for the full kit with the RDA.
You see, we charge 50 for them.
Because you're great.
And you know what? I'm not disappointed. That RDA, even with, I think I put in 24 gauge 8 wrap, two 2 coils. Honestly, I've never been so impressed with the cheap Chinese setup.
Do you know what? I wouldn't be upset with that if it was 70 quid for the full setup. I think it knocks the fucking socks off of the Pulse and the Druga
Definitely.
setups.
Definitely. Very, very impressed.
Yeah, like at its price point, it is undoubtedly the best intro squonk kit on the market. Undoubtedly.
Definitely. Without a doubt. If you don't have one in your collection, wait a few weeks and buy one.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I've chucked a fucking £100 RDA on top of mine, but the box itself doesn't feel out of place with a proper expensive nice Atty on top.
But it's quite hard to lift though, isn't it?
It's not £100 of weight, it's money.
Do you know that the only niggle I've got with it is the RDA is you have to move it in place to drop it down?
I'll tell you what, I built the RDA single coil and it's a little bit turbulent. The RDA is good. The RDA is not great. It's good, especially for its price point. But the box, if the box cost double what the whole setup cost, but it had a different brand name on it, you wouldn't bat an eyelid. It's only because it says Geek Vape on it that you would ever think for a second that this should be cheap.
Do you know what I was massively impressed with? I built it, I set it up, and then I went through the box, and there was a silicone bottle in the box as well.
Yeah, yeah, they don't fuck about. Although, admittedly, I've put a bone bottle in mine because I really like the bone vape bottles. I think they're fucking cracking. But, huh? Oh, I bought 2 bone vape ones last week. You're accusing me of stealing offer over it. But yeah, the silicone bottle that comes with it is actually really nice. It's very soft, very, very soft.
What are the bone vape ones?
You know Bone in Cardiff?
Are they the square ones?
No, they're still round, but they do them in this nice. Hang on, let me take screen share off a second. They do them in this really nice, like smoky, blacky, grey sort of colour.
All right.
Which, because I wanted like an all dark setup, the idea was because normally my battery wraps aren't bright green. This is an emergency battery.
There we go. Apparently, we can get the mod only for 30 quid. John's not a big fan of the RDA though. I was for the price point. I think the RDA was good. It's not awesome. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, it could be better. Definitely could be better, but it's far from bad.
What's the website to get them bone bottles?
Bone, BEAUM.
Oh.
Bonevape.co.uk. Boom.
Form vape.
Boom.
Right. Can we go for fully charged?
Can we go for fully charged? I think it goes higher than fully charged. I think it absolutely fucking destroys its competition.
I've not tried it before, so I can't. I can't allow it to go that high, to be honest. But you know, it can go up there, just not that high.
Fully charged is all right for me. I'm with Chris. I've not had my hands on one, so can't comment. Looks all right.
Well, we'll get one into your two's hands as soon as possible so that we can revisit it. But we'll initially stick it up on fully charged then. Oh, better put Geek Vape there.
Okay, and my second one, I'm gonna. You know me, I always drop everything in John O'Brow. This one's going in proper cunty for now.
Oh, that's not unusual to have it drop down.
So I'm not picking on any particular newspaper.
Oh, strictly.
Oh.
I'm not picking on any newspaper in particular. My issue is with media getting involved, sticking their neb in, reporting false fucking allegations and bullshit.
It's the sensationalism of it that gets me.
Who'd have thought that Lily Allen would have got carried away?
Yeah.
And the
Ridiculous.
big question is, what the fuck is in that milk bottle?
That's just got no place on the front page of the newspaper, has it?
None at all. Even though I can get a holiday for £9.50.
Yeah, that's a bonus.
Good holidays. We had one of them. £9.50. It's great.
You read The Sun?
I didn't read it. I just bought it and we had the holiday. We didn't bother with
bought
reading the
it?
newspaper.
Yeah, apparently
Yeah.
vaping is as bad as fags.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not. And do you know what's really annoying about this? Like, it's probably hard for you guys to see on the screen share, but the body text following that headline, you see there's a little chunk of body text to the right?
Yep.
The very first line is, vaping could be as bad for your heart as smoking fags.
How the fuck?
So in the very first line of their own body text, they've contradicted their massive fucking headline that discredits the entire industry.
They do it.
How the fuck did that make front page news? Seriously.
Must have been a slow day at the office.
Just out of interest, when was that printed? How old is that? Is that
Thursday,
particular
August
one?
30th, 2016.
Oh, so it's not. Yeah, okay. It does.
No, the media does sensationalize. Oh, here's another mod that's blown some poor fucker's face off. No, there's some cunt that doesn't know how to use a mod properly, that doesn't know battery safety, that doesn't know Ohm's law. He blew his face off. It was nothing to do with the equipment. Oh, I know. Let's put it on the front page of the Mirror. Does the Mirror exist anymore?
One of them doesn't. News of the World. Mirror still exists.
You know what I mean? It just boils my piss.
It's the traditional one that for example the fantastic news on that 3.5 years. You've got 3.5 years where vaping does nothing. That is not going to hit headlines. If it was something along the lines of vaping makes your left lung explode, that is going to be on the front page. So they just go for the hey, this is going to be sensational. So
It's just fucking cheap, isn't it?
yeah, and
Fucking
unfortunately, good news does not sell papers.
Proper
So
cunty,
yeah,
are we going lower than proper cunty?
it goes lower for me.
It goes in Zomo Laser 255 GT, doesn't it? That's where it goes.
Let's put it there with Rip Trippers.
Oh yeah.
Boom. Bye-bye, shit stain. What'd you delete Linda's message for? She watches every week.
Yeah, she also had a flanger.
Fuck's sake. You've changed you. I've turned your back on loyal viewers.
No.
To be honest, I've gone to buy them Bomb Vape bottles. I don't think they look as nice as the Mod Maker Dinkies.
What, the new silicon mod maker ones? I haven't actually tried the silicon mod maker ones yet. I've only tried the old ones.
They're beautiful, and they're almost they're a bit darker than the ones those ones. But let me try and do this without showing. They've got like a knurled ring.
Oh yeah, you see, I'm not a huge fan of the knurling.
No, it's easier to unscrew, and then you've got this like.
That's nice though. I like that.
So that's sort of like a bigger hole, and then you stick that in it, and that sort of sits where it needs to sit.
Yeah,
And
I don't hate that.
And that adapter means that if you've got any of the mods where they've got the extension tube on the squonk, you just take that that disc out, and it will just fit straight onto the extension.
And it's got like a little like divot, so any juice that overflows sort of
Sits in there.
Sits in there rather than dribbles down the side. Yeah, I think they're pretty fucking sweet, to be fair.
Yeah, once I've tried them, I'll know what they're like. But I'm sure they're absolutely fucking fantastic because Rick knows squonking inside out, doesn't he?
Right, who's next?
I guess it's me.
Is it or me? Which go on?
No, do you want to go, Chandler, or do you want me to go?
Yeah, no, you go. It's fine.
You sure?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so the first one is a revisit. We said we were going to revisit this once we'd all tried it. So, add attachment, choose file, and
We'll just watch your entire desktop. It's fine.
yeah, it's all good. It's just a load of fucking video games anyway. This is a new computer. I haven't had time to clutter up the desktop with shit yet. Okay, that looks good to me. Right, so this little fucker, most of us tried it by now. Chandler, you weren't here when we originally passed verdict on it, but it was actually, it was me that pushed for it to be high up. I wanted it up in pretty good. Basically, on the merits of pod systems are a very, very good idea, but no one had really nailed one, and I had very high hopes that Smoking Vapor, because they did such a fucking great job with the Me 1, were going to nail it. So at Expo, there were some pre-production ones going around. JB got one, Dolan got one. I'm not on the favourites list apparently, so I didn't get one. So I
didn't get one. I didn't get one either.
Yeah, but you know. And so I had to wait until I could get one on general sale. And when I tried Chris's and Dolan's, they said, oh, these are pre-production, and apparently the thing that's wrong with them is the pods. The pods need changing. And I said, yep, the pods do need changing. That airflow is fucking shocking. The airflow was practically impossible to mouth along off of. And the big issue here is it's not a preference thing, like it is, you know, with mouth along tanks and you know, devices that have got fire buttons. It's not so much a problem, but with devices that rely on a sensor, if the airflow is too loose, the sensor won't trigger and you don't get a fucking vape. So the airflow has to be tight so that the sensor is sensitive enough to turn on when you're actually taking a drag. So I was really hopeful that when the production ones came out for general release, they would have fixed the airflow on the pods, and that would therefore make them much better to use. Mine and Risa's production ones arrived today, and the pods are exactly the fucking same as were on apparently the pre-production ones. Now, I don't know who it was that was telling people that the pods were going to change, but you're a lying bastard. The fucking pods haven't changed, and they are awful.
Oh.
Chris?
I've not tried the production ones yet.
No, but you tried the pre-production one, and I'm saying the pods are exactly the same as your pre-production one.
They weren't the worst thing I've ever had. But
they're pretty fucking bad.
They weren't as good as I expected.
I'll give you a prime example. I've got mine here. Mouth to lung, which is what I want it for. Right, ready? Nothing.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
Nothing. Kind of.
Like half a hit.
Mouth to lung. Sorry, lung, direct to lung. Shit, I burnt my lip. Now,
yeah, you burn your lip if you take lung hits off them as well.
Are you still getting that on the general release version?
Exactly the same. Not sensitive enough when you mouth to lung because the airflow is too loose. And if you take a direct lung hit off it, you burn the side of your lip. You getting that as well? Risa fucking hates it. She got the gold Bilbo Baggins one that you can see on the left of the picture there as well, which is gorgeous.
I was listening to the Culture of Clouds podcast, and I'm because you know Grim Green likes the Me one.
Yeah.
And I'm 90% sure that he mentioned he wasn't as keen on the Me pod.
Oh mate, it's really bad. It's not just not good enough, it's bad. And the Me 1 was a fucking triumph. Me 1 was amazing. To go from having, in my opinion, the best mouth to lung device on the market at the cheaper sort of budget range to probably one of the worst I've tried. Like the iCare and the Aspire Breeze are both better than this.
The
Yeah,
breeze.
it looks to me very breeze-esque.
No, the breeze is better. The breeze is better. A lot better.
Yeah, I mean, Jay's saying about printing an airflow reducer for it, but the problem is that the airflow is on the pods, so you'd run the risk of throwing away your airflow reducer by accident every time you changed your pod.
Yeah.
It's not really an ideal solution.
Mm.
Right, sounds like it's going down then.
I want to move it real far down. I'm not only really let down because of how good the Mi 1 is, but I'm really let down as well because the word on the street was that the pods were getting upgraded, and they've not been upgraded. They're exactly the same.
Are you annoyed, Stu?
Really fucking pissed off by it, yeah. This is probably my most eagerly anticipated device of this year. This is the thing I've been looking forward to most for the whole year.
Marcus, the flavor's okay actually. I only use mine for CBD. I don't
CBD?
run normal liquid through it. I run well, I got near at the minute Rottle from TYV, and the flavor's good. I've got to say. Do you agree, Stu?
I find the flavour a bit above average. I wouldn't say good. The Mi 1 was great for flavour. But that could also be the juice, because all I've got in here is 50/50 house brand. But then I just tried Reese's, and she's got Mai from Lane Cove in hers.
Oh, nice.
You barely taste it.
Right, drop it low then. Stick it where you think. I can't. I'll go with whatever you say because I've not tried it.
Well, Chris and Mark, I think you guys need to weigh in because you've tried them as well.
I'm really sad to see it go down, but at the same time, fuck it.
Yeah, I'm really sad to see it go down. I mean, Reese's just forked out 80 quid. She paid retail for 2 of them. Do you know what I mean? And the reason we still took a chance on one is because people were saying this is a pre-production model. The pods are going to change. So we took a chance on them, and we bought 2, and they're awful.
Yeah, it's a bit sad.
It's just really shit when promises are made and not kept, for one, and when companies that know how to make good devices sacrifice the quality of their device for the gimmickiness.
And the fact Grim Green was behind the original one, wasn't he?
Exactly. If it had been good, it would probably be the best-selling pod system on the market overnight. It would instantly go straight to the top of the charts.
It's the best looking
behind the company.
I don't even think it's the best looking one. I don't.
You can actually get a Grim Green edition of the Mi 1. There's a stainless steel one with Grim Green's logo on the side of it.
Go on, stick it where you like then, Stu.
I think almost shite is where it ends up.
I'd go one lower than that.
Would you?
I'd go running empty.
What do you reckon, Chris? Almost shite or running empty?
Mm.
You see, what's difficult for me is that the distributor I get on really well with, and I know he's got a lot invested in it. But you know, at the end of the day, this is journalism, isn't it? We're
Exactly.
giving our honest opinion, and whatever we get given to look at and to review, I will always give my God's honest opinion.
Look, at the end of the day, man, I've said bad things about products from companies that I've loved before, and it doesn't feel good, you know. But at the same time, if you want to have any integrity and you want your opinion to be worth anything to anyone, you've got to report honestly, you know. And I'm a massive fanboy of the first one, and I know that obviously the distributor has really got high hopes for this to do well in the UK. I had really high hopes for this to do well in the UK. But the truth of the matter is, it just doesn't deliver. The device just doesn't deliver.
So where did we have it originally, Stu?
We had it on Pretty Good.
Mm.
Stop farting. You horrible man.
Yeah, no, I'm good with running empty, Stu.
I think running empty is where it has to go. Sadly.
Chris?
Yeah, send it there.
I've actually forgotten what my other one was, so I'm going to have to pop it into John O'Brow for a second while I remember what it was. Oh, yeah, it's this. Of course it is. This isn't staying in John O'Brow, I don't think. So we might have to get the chat involved a little bit in this. Because I think you guys haven't tried it yet. But I think there's a few people in the chat that have expressed some interest in it. Basically, that you see there, it's the B2K RSA Crank Edition from BB Vapes. It's the Atty that I've got on my free hand at the moment that I've been rocking all day today. What you see there, that is everything that comes with it in the box. You get 4 810 drip tips, 4 510 drip tips, 4 510 drip tip adapters, 4 beauty rings, a deck, and an airflow reducer. And it's 55 quid.
Is that posted?
55 quid posted in the UK, 60 quid posted if you order it from Canada. Like, that is fucking ridiculous, man. Look how much you get for your money.
I've got to say, from the caps point of view, if you look at the squonking industry, you're talking £20 a cap.
Yeah, you'll normally pay like £20 a cap.
So there's 80 quid's worth of cap there if the deck's any good. Now, looking at the deck, to me, the deck looks too big.
So there's something I've noticed with it very quickly. It's not the best flavor I've had off a Squonky Natty. It's not as good as the Entheon. It's not as good as the Basic. It's better than the Soul S for flavor. You need, in order to really get the most out of it, I think you need a slightly bigger coil than you would normally put for in a Squonker. So I think you need like a 4mm coil on it because the deck is big. And the reason I think you need a 4mm coil is because I think you need a shitload of cotton. Putting more cotton in there effectively reduces the size of the chamber, which pushes the air under the coil instead of allowing it to circulate. So I think I'm going to rebuild mine with a 4mm coil and more cotton, and I reckon the flavor will be as good as anything else that I own at that point. I reckon. But as it stands at the minute, it's definitely not the worst Atty I have for flavor, and it is actually a really pleasant vape. Like the airflow feels good. The deck is really easy to build on. You see these little screws that you've got just hanging around here on the deck? These are actually your spare post screws. Your posts actually screw in through the side of the deck here.
Okay.
And these are actually your spares so that you don't lose them. Like how often do you lose fucking post screws? And they just screw them down into the deck so that you can't lose them. Like, how fucking cool is that?
There we go. Apparently, Hazetown, that's the Canadian distributor, I believe.
Correct. That's where I got mine.
Use the coupon code Reddit for 15% off. But apparently, they're out of stock. I cannot confirm nor deny that. I've got to say, just for the caps and the tips, beauty ring, the catch cup, whatever you want to call it, that's an absolute bargain.
I mean, there are a couple of things to note. Because we are honest, the 510 tips are very, very low profile. So on some Atties, that's not going to be any good. Obviously, on if you've got like gel ring caps or piss caps or anything like that, then they're going to protect you from heat anyway. But on like metal Atties, you don't want a really, really stubby 510 drip tip because it's going to put your lips too close to the cap and you're going to burn your lips. That's fair enough. The O-ring tolerances are quite loose. It's not so bad that you are in danger of anything coming off. It just makes things very easy to take off. Nothing will fall off, so they're definitely tight enough. And the only thing that I would say is actually a bit of a problem for some people. A lot of people will be buying this thinking that they're getting a lot of accessories. The RDA is 23 millimeters, so the beauty ring is a 23 to 24, not a 22 to 24. That's gonna spoil it for some people that want to reuse all of those accessories on their other Atties. It is worth bearing in mind that you do get 810 to 510 adapters, 810 drip tips, and 510 drip tips. Those are all universal and will work on anything because they're standardized sizes. So it is only the beauty rings that are 23 only.
Apparently, Alex at Cheeky Vapes is going to get some more in 3 weeks, so that'll be interesting to see.
Yep, I've heard that.
Bit guard unscrews from the Alton tip, so you can install it into other ones. That's always good.
Yeah, the Ultim 810 tip comes with a spitback protector in it, and the others don't. And a few people have been a bit confused by that, but yeah, apparently it is removable. It's a lot of fucking Atty for 55, 60 quid. Hell of a lot of Atty.
The only thing that puts me off is that it's 23 mil.
Yeah, I mean, that is the only bad thing about it, I'll be honest. That is the only thing about it that is a bit of an issue.
What do you think?
Sorry, Mark.
Why do you think they went 23 rather than 22?
Tough one. Hard to say. Genuinely hard to say.
Just seems a bit odd.
Perhaps so that they're so that the caps don't fit anything else.
Yeah, I mean, perhaps that's what they wanted. Perhaps they wanted the beauty rings to not be usable for everything.
My kind of thought is if you want all four, if you want the option to change it, then yeah, 55 quid's great. But if you're just thinking, well, I'm going to spend most of my time using the black one, it would have been better if they'd have gone, here's the black option, it's 20 quid.
I think being able to buy one kit and matching it to any mod that you might want to put it on is a really nice idea. I think people that only vape sort of one color of mod and wouldn't make use of all the accessories probably just wouldn't buy it anyway. I think they probably, you know, and if I'm honest, I don't really think there are many people like that about nowadays either. I think really they've probably thought about their market and tried to do something that appeals to how much people like to customize shit.
Yeah. To me, it seems I'd put it in pretty good until I've tested it, but I'm really, really, really picky with Squonk RDAs. And to me, that deck space just looks too big for me to like.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I do wish that I'd have put a 4 mil in, not a 3 mil, because I do think it wants a bigger coil.
Yeah, my thought is I mean, like you said, it's got the flavor's not as good as an Entheon, or my thought is if it's got to be a corking Atty. The accessories are just a gimmick otherwise.
Yeah, you probably could dual coil it, although it does only have 2 post holes. So dual coiling it would be an interesting technique for building it. But yeah, you could dual coil it. That is true.
For me, I'm going pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I want to see it in freaking awesome just yet. I think more people need to vape it.
It'll be interesting to see how many come up for sale in the next couple of weeks. We can probably get a good idea of, you know, how people are feeling about it by how many come up for sale.
Yeah, that's a very good point. If the secondhand market is suddenly flooded with them, then it's safe to assume that people aren't enamored with it.
No, I look forward to trying one.
But yeah, as it stands right now, I definitely recommend people pick one up and give it a go. And I think pretty good is a fair place to start it off.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the first thing you've got to say is that anyone who can put an RDA to market with that many caps, I mean, I've just put an RDA to market. It was only a $5 cheaper than that, and it comes with half the number of caps.
Dino's saying he's seen a few come up in the past few days. What sort of price were they going for, Dino?
Yeah, did they go up at sort of desperate to shift prices, or?
We now got to wait for the lag in chat.
Yeah, I mean, that would be the question. If they were going up at sort of need to get rid of this quickly prices, then that would tell you that people's opinions are that it's not very good. If it was going up for, you know, reasonable used product prices, that would just say probably wasn't for that person. That person, you know, didn't fancy it.
45.
There you go, 50 to 45. So that suggests people aren't desperate to move them, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh well, we'll have to wait and see. I look forward to trying one, and we can revisit that in the future.
Yeah, definitely want to have another look at. Chandler.
Right, here it comes. It should appear in John Brow in a minute. I hope. It's coming. This is something I got. There we go.
There
this
we go.
week.
Oh, this stuff. Yeah, I've got a bottle of this coming.
Hey,
Good old
look at
LA.
that. Oh yeah, VG glass cleaner.
Right, I've actually, and I'm going to hunt through my Amazon purchase list.
Have you bought some? Have you tried it?
Not that. I've tried something else. Bear with me, please continue.
Right. Well, I tried this. I got this. This arrived in my post box yesterday, and the first thing I did, my room in here. This is a conservatory. I've got glass over there, and it is. You know what happens to glass with vapor, and that thing that just plowed through it. Can I share my screen and show you?
Yeah, go on.
Will it do it? Hang on. Share. There you go. So, that's there you go. That was what my window looked like first. And then I cleaned it. And it looked like that.
Fuck me, there was trees outside it.
Hello, look at that.
That's not bad, is it?
No, I was really impressed.
XP?
Sorry?
Are you on Windows XP?
No, I'm not on Windows XP. I'm on Windows 10.
That looks like Windows XP's picture viewer.
It does, doesn't it? The one that opened up automatically wouldn't show as a application to share. So
I was genuinely concerned for a second then.
Yeah. So there you go. I just wanted to show you that, and it wasn't a hard clean. It was squirt it on, buff it off with a microfiber cloth, and there were clean windows.
How much was that?
The bottles, the 250 ml, 250. It's 100 ml. Sorry, 100 ml bottle is $2.99, and a 500 ml bottle is $8.99.
Okay.
And
so the stuff I use, let me have I got anything that gives anything away? No. The stuff I use is the Auto Finesse.
Okay.
Auto Finesse crystal glass cleaner, and it literally cuts through VG in a heartbeat.
How much is that?
I paid $6.95 for 250 ml.
So it's slightly more expensive then, isn't it? If it's $8.99 for a 500 ml.
But it cuts through grease like you wouldn't believe. So
yeah, I just thought I'd share that. It arrived. I got it today and tried it, and it worked. I have tried it in the car. I would suggest that if you're cleaning your car, leave the door open. It's very strong. It even says on the label, it says use as supplied for extreme cleaning power. For regular use, dilute as necessary, whatever that means. But I've used it neat, and it took out my conservatory windows as sparkly.
I actually use the Auto Finesse, the stuff. We actually use that in the shop for cleaning cabinets.
Yeah, I can see this working really well in a shop. And
I haven't tried ours yet. It's,
big windows.
I've been told it's on its way, but we have got probably about 6-7 foot high of window running the entire width of our shop, save for the door, and the door is also full glass. So it's going to get a fucking workout when it gets to us.
Yeah. I'm gonna try. I'm actually gonna try because I've used 50 mil of it, and that's done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 windows, 2 patio doors, and my car. So I think it's going to last fairly well, but I'm going to try diluting it down and seeing how it works. Just that it says on the label. No, just that it says on the label you can dilute it. So I'm going to try it.
Dino in the chat says Kim and Aggie would be well proud of you, Chandler.
Oh, I cleaning my car. I mean, my car is the inside of my car. I was amazed when I cleaned it. It was like, oh my god, I suddenly realized this morning when I got in the car and I could see out of the windscreen. It was like, oh my god.
You see what gets me is this time of year when it's a little bit.
It's when it's cold on the outside and warm on the inside. That's when you can see it.
And you get a little bit of sunlight coming through the window, and everything just completely blurs out.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I'm really pleased with this. The other glass cleaner I've tried has just done nothing in my car, especially, whereas this has actually worked. So here's a product that does what it says on the label.
Yeah, fair fucking play. So pretty good, or?
I think it definitely pretty good until I think the thing I need to see is how quickly it builds back up again afterwards.
Is it supposed to leave a coating?
It doesn't say that specifically. It's not making any claims that it will stop it from building back up. But I just want to see how quickly it does build back up.
Well, you'll know how much I hate car VG fog windows, and I'm in desperate need of some of that shit. So I think I might buy some.
We could have got some for free.
I would certainly recommend getting one of these bottles because that bottle is really handy to have. That size bottle is going to be really handy to have in your car, and I think that's going to clean your car or a good half a dozen, I'd say good 10 times before it runs out.
Does it come with a nick shot?
Please don't vape it.
Yeah, please don't vape it. It even said
awkwardly similar size to some of the 120 bottles, isn't it?
Yeah, it does. It did even say, where was it? Was it on the webpage? Somewhere I saw it said, "Does not contain VG. This is to be used to clean VG."
Can I just ask, did we ever get anywhere with the mesh RDA?
It's a piece of shit.
It seems to have died a death, that, doesn't it?
We've got the mesh RTA that has appeared in the UK today.
Is it a Jenny or is it just the mesh RDA as an RTA?
I want to try the mesh RDA.
Chris, it's fucking terrible, mate.
Have you got one?
No.
I've got one here somewhere.
Is it black?
Here comes the bag.
I can't even see it. It's here somewhere.
If it's black, send me it. I want to try
it. It is black.
Shall I load my next one in while you're finding it?
Go on. One thing I will quickly say about the mesh, when you put normal coils in it, it's actually not a bad RDA. The flavour is actually pretty decent off of it.
Hang on, I'm clicking on the wrong thing.
Got a freebie offer. You've just got to cover postage, and Kev will send you his.
Huh?
Kevin Nestor is offering you his for covering postage.
Oh, what a nice sausage he is. It's rainbow coloured, Kev. I can't believe I'm even debating turning down free shit.
To be fair, you've spent the entire evening obsessing over a man clad in nothing but leather. I don't think you've got a fair case to not brandish a rainbow RDA.
But I love Chandler.
Oh, there we
Right.
go.
It's gone straight. It's gone straight in proper Conti.
What the fuck is that? Is that seriously their new packaging?
I have no idea, but I saw this on Instagram. I was gonna have put it in my section, but I thought it was just that it wasn't.
Are you taking the
that
piss?
shit? This was
I thought you were
posted
talking
on
about the fucking
Instagram.
mod then.
No, not the mod, because it didn't register to me straight away that was a bottle of juice. I saw that and went, that is a bottle of pop.
Sample of pop, yeah.
Yeah, that is a juice bottle packaging.
Tell me that that's
I mean,
like.
I don't like fantasy in the first place because of how close it is to the Coca-Cola branded Fanta.
Fucking piss take.
It drives me up the wall in the first place, and to see a bottle of juice that looks like that, they just want lining up.
Jaw hit the floor.
They want lining up against a wall and shooting, and that may sound harsh, but Jesus, what are they thinking? That is just.
Are they dick shots then?
I have no idea. This is all I've seen. This was just an Instagram post that is it Watofu shared that came up on my feed, and my reaction was, "What the fuck is that?"
I want to know why you follow a tofu.
Oh, well, I quite like some of their RDAs. I've got the Vaporus is a nice little squonk RDA, so I followed that. And they also do the T-shirt giveaway. Hence, not that I've ever seen anyone who's got one of those T-shirts. I think that's a boner for another time. But anyway, back to fantasy. That has just got to be.
Apparently, there's also a new juice based on Rubicon juice. Bottles are very similar.
Yeah, I saw that actually. Well, I think I've seen a couple that are based on Rubicon actually. They should fuck it off and just get Moon. You've had Moon, haven't you?
Hmm?
Moon.
Moon?
Moon.
Oh, Moon. Is that like Group?
Yeah, Moon Group.
And come.
Not this again.
Oh.
Moon.
Anyway,
Moon.
I was quite pleased when I looked at the comments on that Instagram post, because almost pretty much 99% of the comments were, "What the fuck are you doing?" The if anything is inviting a child to drink a bottle of juice, that is it.
Absolute fucking madness.
There's not enough E numbers in it for my kid.
Madness.
So there you go. I want it in proper cunty at least.
I'm tempted to Zomo that as well.
Can we have two Zomos in one show? That's like
we Zomoed Pokemon juice. Are you saying it's not as bad?
No, that is as bad as Pokemon juice. You've got to be down there. That is just terrible.
It's a bit like we're gonna tear a hole in the time-space continuum, bro.
But this is my issue: is we Zomoed something that is inarguably just as bad. So surely we have to Zomo it.
I think the way the benchmark is, do you think there can be anything that is worse than that? And did I just go like that? I think I just did.
You finessed it, Chandler. You finessed it.
Sorry.
Ever since Rob brutally called you gay, you're starting to do it.
Oh, so that's what he said. All right. Okay.
Turning into a queen all of a sudden.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well.
And now Rob's.
I get that, Rob. I wasn't offended. That's fine. In that jacket, yeah. In that waistcoat, yeah. So yeah, no. Do you think anything can be worse than that fantasy bottle? Because I don't think there can be.
Rib, rub, rob.
Rib, Rob.
Oh my god.
Oh, Dolan, you potato.
Oh.
Well, this is it. Like, you could not brand juice worse than that. You could not fuck up.
Good, you can make Pokemon juice.
Do you think Pokemon's
I
worse?
think it's as bad. It's
They're on par.
It is no better. Definitely on
Why
a
they
par.
do the
It's
same
gotta
pattern?
go Zomo Laser. Come on.
Laser it.
Yeah. Awesome.
Lasered. Chandler's got his first laser.
Yes. But yeah, so there you go.
It's actually mostly Mark's stuff that's in laser. You know, Rip Trippers is one of mine, but it's actually mostly Mark that tends to laser stuff.
I feel honoured that I've managed to get something lasered already.
Do you know what
Excellent.
makes me laugh? That the Zomo laser is actually in proper country and not.
Yeah, there's no laser. But that's because Dale upped its cool slightly by like 1 rank. So it's still like one of the shittest devices on the market, but it's actually transcended its own category.
Awesome.
Brilliant. Is that it? Are we done?
Can I do some blatant self-promotion just before we go?
Oh, is there a new podcast out?
The latest podcast is out.
Oh, is it? I missed that.
Yes.
That's Expo Part 2, isn't it?
Expo Part 2, and it's got interview with Mikey, the coilologist, in it. So
Am I in this one?
no, sorry,
I'm not
Chris.
fucking interested then, mate.
All right, okay, fine. Be like that. It's fine.
I've got something to listen to on the way to work tomorrow and the way home.
So yeah, and it's got Tony B's interview in it, and if you, I think the competition ought to be how many times the I love VG bloke says smoke instead of vape. And I didn't actually notice this. It took Badger to point it out to me that he says have a smoke instead of have a vape. And it just didn't register when I was listening to it. So there you go. Right, so that's it. Self-promotion over. Search for Vaguely Vaping related podcast on iTunes, and it's on SoundCloud. SoundCloud/the VVRP. That's THE.
If you're an Android user, I was just saying to Nightwork. Is it Andrew? It is Andrew, isn't it? Is it Andrew?
I thought Nightwork was going about an hour ago.
Yeah, so did I. I was just saying to him, if you're on Android, Podcast Addict is the best podcast manager that I've been able to find for Android. It's really, really simple, dead easy to use, and way better than Podbean, which constantly bombards you with shit adverts.
Yeah, I tried Podbean and got put off that. So yeah, and in Podcast Addict, you just do a search for the Vaguely Vaping related podcast, and it's there.
It's right there. It's just right there for you to listen to.
Absolutely, and why you would want to listen to any other podcast, I just don't know.
Well, I mean, in terms of vaping podcasts, you haven't got that many to choose from.
No, not really. And UK-based ones are a few and far between, which is why I started it in the first place.
Cloudy need to get back on it. Vic and Cloudy have been well. I know that's because Cloudy's got a load of shit on at the minute. So
we've got exactly 1 week remaining until our big draw between our big raffle.
Waffle, big draw next week.
Big draw.
Get your tickets.
Expect a shit ton of live feeds during the week. Expect shit tons of posts. We need to make as much money as possible for cancer research. We've got a good amount of money in already. Let's keep pushing it. Let's keep sharing it. Let's get as much in as we can. Let's give away some awesome shit next week.
Yeah, just something to bear in mind as well if you are sharing it about. Obviously, when Mark made the post was more for people that had already watched the show. So it just says raffle post at the top of it. When you share it, you do need to write a bit of text with the share post to explain that VT UK are doing a raffle for cancer research, because just sharing it into a group, all it will display is raffle thread and no other information, and no one's going to have a clue what it's about. So just do remember to add a little bit of an explanation about what's actually happening.
I'll edit it so it makes more sense.
Or do that. That would also work.
Yeah, that would work. Yeah. That would make most sense, to be fair.
I will get on with that as soon as we've finished.
And just to mention that something has been missed off the prize list.
What did I miss?
You missed off the bar of Palmolive soap.
Oh, for God's sake.
Hang on, I'm doing that now.
Add it on. I will be offering a bar of Palmolive soap. There you go.
So
I promised I would, so I thought I'd get that one in.
kindly donated by Chandler. There we go. Done. Updated.
I'm sure everybody is really keen to be the person that gets that prize.
There we go.
Prize.
Oh yeah.
Cracking. So next week, we're closing the raffle entries at 7 o'clock because obviously we need time to get that into a randomizer. We need time to get all those names in and ready for the show. So 7 o'clock is the cutoff for any donations for that. I'll let you close, Stu.
Sorry?
I'll let you close.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, obviously, if anybody else does want to donate anything to the prize pool, please get in touch. It's probably just easiest that you get hold of Mark because he's the one that's got the list. But if there is one of us that you tend to talk to more regularly, we can pass the information on to him. It's not the end of the world. But yeah, you know, if anyone does want to put in more prizes, please let us know. Do keep sharing it about. We want as much exposure for it as we can because we want to raise lots of money to kill cancer because cancer's a fucking dickhead. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us.
See you next Tuesday.
Link will be in the chat.